to the second episode of the All or Nothing podcast. I'm here, friends, again to speak about the Saudi Pro League. So, please welcome Anthony,
Hi guys.
Kaminda,
Hey guys.
and Vishnu.
Hello.
Welcome all, guys. Just a disclaimer, our first episode was released just as an audio only. I made a slight hiccup with the visual recording, but hopefully now you'll actually get a visual piece as well as audio piece from us for the second episode. So glad to finally get ourselves out there. Anywho, the first episode got a bit heated over the Saudi Pro League and our opinions on the development of the league and the impact of football. But I think Anthony wanted a quick revisit on his readings, which he wanted to share. So I'm not going to carry on too much. But Anthony, if you want to take the stage.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy with Gams just chatting and not knowing the answers, just asking a lot of random questions. So I went and did a bit of reading on what they've, put in place in terms of the infrastructure. And I think one of the first things, or at least in the media and stuff, what they've kind of announced as like a big thing is they've recruited Michael Emenalo, who used to be at Chelsea. He was in charge of like the scouting and things at Chelsea. He was, for example, in charge of bringing Kante over to them, so a Champions League winner with them and things like that. And what they've done is they've recruited him and put him in charge of PACE, as they call it, which stands for Players Acquisition Centre of Excellence, which kind of, as I spoke last time about the transfers and things like that, it kind of works as a transfer hub, looking at the whole of Saudi League, making it more competitive and kind of advising clubs on how to do the transfers and things like that. But in terms of the infrastructure, what they've also done is they put in a few regulations so that as a direct result of the Saudi Pro League, they themselves know that, as Gums was rightly saying, that the national team should also have an impact and should show results with, if they want to grow to be one of the best leagues in the world. And what for that, they say that there's been a number of regulations that they've released, but like at least 3 or 4 that they've named with a timeline is, for example, from this year, so 23-24 season, they've gone and said the Saudi player eligibility age to play in the league has gone from 18 to 16, so they lowered it so more players are able to play and join the squads, firstly. Another one is that currently the squads are at 35 players. They've reduced it to 25 senior players, with the remaining 10 spots going to under 21s, right? And that comes in, I think, from the 25 to 26 season. And then from the 26 to 27 season, and I think this is what Gams was asking for, what they've done is in your squad of 25, they will need 8 homegrown academy players. So from any of the club's academy systems, each squad will need 8 of those players will have to be homegrown. And out of that 8, 4 will have to be from that club's academy system. So now what they've done is, they've created a proper infrastructure. There's a way that, as you said, like anyone on these kids who are playing in the streets can go from where they are to now playing with world superstars or even becoming superstars themselves. So they've kind of created that. And then the other thing, and it's something that maybe we missed out, but we, like, for example, the Saudi under 23s, they won the Asian AFC, so like their equivalent of Euros championships without conceding a goal. So the team is already established with it. And then they also talk a lot about how they performed in the World Cup, beating Argentina and things like that, through a lot of the media kind of press releases that they've done. But it's clear that, that aim of what Gams was kind of arguing for is already in place. They've kind of recruited Michael Emenalo to come in and kind of look over player growth, kind of that whole process of recruiting players and creating a young competitive league, which is, according to their own releases and their own aims, they aim to be like top 10 in the world in terms of the league. So from our discussions and with the players that are available to them with the unlimited amount of money, we know that they can do even better than that. But yeah, it's definitely in place, Graham, so you can calm down, relax.
Yeah, to be fair, that's exactly all those points, I think, ticks pretty much all the boxes. But it'll just be nice to see that in years to come. But
Yeah, no, of course.
yeah,
Would you consider that a short-term or long-term thing, like 3 years? Because 3 years is still a lot of seasons away, a lot of money, a lot of development.
Yeah,
I
but
think that's not a long time away, though.
no,
but
it's I think they've done the first step, right? And something again, like from the press releases they put out, and obviously you can't read everything someone puts out because, of course, it's true there'll be both sides to it, but at least you can see from the surroundings, right? You can see from the results. Like again, I come back to the World Cup and the under-23 performances and things like that. You can see that there is something in place and there's a foundation in place, and then these guys are then trying to build on that by, for example, like reducing the eligibility age. So now from 16 years old you can play in the senior team, and therefore you have a longer period to play. So that's already in place now, and then in a couple of years' time you bring in the under 21 squad. So you have 25 players of senior players and the rest being under 21s, and most of those under 21s will most likely be Saudi players. So then they get again a longer period to spend with these senior players, these world-class players, learn from them and then develop that way. And then finally you bring in this 8 homegrown players rule, and then they've got 18 teams. If 18 teams have 8 homegrown players in their team, you're gonna, and with the quality of players they'll be playing with, and that's probably the hope that by that time this comes in, almost all the teams will be as competitive and will have squads that kind of at least are able to. We know by results recently that most of these clubs are competing with the best teams already, sure. But at least on paper as well, that they'll be able to compete with them.
I think to that question as well, Vishnu, I think we also mentioned it last week. It's a short-term look in terms of the investment they're going to put in until the long-term benefits that they'll reap. So yeah, there's 3 seasons. I mean, 3 seasons kind of go quick in football, really. But if they can get there, and I presume they will, we can't say for definite. For the football world, it's so temperamental. You don't know what will happen the next season, really. But if they have Emiliano come in and really put his foresight there, you'd think someone with that sort of experience would probably get it over the line.
Yeah, you sort of trust his expertise to give a good timeline on, because he has all the information on how good the youth are and what's required to get them to that level. So I guess we're sort of bystanders at this point, and we have to kind of trust the experts because they have the money to get the best, and arguably what he's done at Chelsea, he's proven that he is one of the best. So you can trust that what he's doing is probably getting it done at the fastest possible pace that he can. And I think 3 years, you just have to trust what they come up with, really.
And I think if you're gonna focus on the guy, I mean, I haven't done too much reading into him, but from what I know, I think he was at Chelsea from about 2011 to 2017. And that in that period, I think they've won about 2 Champions Leagues or something. And the players that they've brought in, and there's a lot of development that, from the way Chelsea have played over the last, 10, 12 years, they've competed with, Man City, Liverpool. They've, as I said, they've won Champions Leagues in that period as well. So the results are there to see from what he's done there. So he's just having to take that. Of course, it's a bigger scale now, and he's got more or less unlimited resources. So he should be you should see the results of it in the next few years, and hopefully ending in a very, as Gams was asking for, a very strong Saudi team as well.
Absolutely. But I think just kind of finishing on that point, we're going to see changes in the future. Now, it'll be interesting to see as they develop, as time progresses, what actually happens. I mean, we're very much looking at the present time to prediction in the future, but yeah, hopefully they continue to grow and get to where they succeed to be. I'll say this, and the successes will be anyway. But in terms of successes, I think this will be a good time to look into the results so far. I know myself with Al Hilal, we won today 2-0. Mitrovic has come in. He's been quite a revelation in that striking performance so far. But what about your other teams? I mean, we can look into the scores, but just as a quick
before you move, No, I just want to let you know that if you look back at the last episode, someone did predict Mitrovic would do well, but
Yeah.
there were some skeptical people on this call. But
Who was skeptical about that?
there was a strong prediction.
I'll put my hand up. I mean, it's been 2
Yeah,
games.
all
It's
of
been 2
me.
games, and in all honesty, he has done very well. Over
But
the
why
2
would
games
you
I
be
have
skeptical
seen.
of? He's a top striker, and he's come into a league where arguably he's now
One of the best.
even. Yeah, he's like one of the best in terms of his position.
Hindsight's a great thing, but
I mean, it is,
even
and
before
I'll hold my hand up if I am wrong. I mean, I'm not gonna completely change my opinion over 2 games, but so far he has made a considerable impact. He made a debut goal against Al Raid, and even today we played El Etifak, Steven Gerrard's team, and Mitrovic. I think he hit the bar once. He absolutely dominated. He got the assist for the first goal, for Malcolm's goal. Absolute great assist, and he was even involved within Devasai El Dasawai. He he was involved in that. Absolute great goal by Al Dasawai. He did a scissor kicks for the second goal, but he's as a striker, he's exactly, I guess. He's a pest. He's a pest in the box. He gets his head on everything. He's that link up man. Neymar's still yet to come in for the in terms of the Saudi Pro League game, but it'll be interesting to see how they get along. But so far so good for us. I mean, we're still undefeated.
Yeah,
We're
I think
second
you're
in the
the
league
team
currently
to watch.
as time is recording. Yeah, it's looking good so far. So far, I mean, we got so Alpha Etifak was undefeated until today. Our next one again is like an undefeated face-off, but we'll leave that discussion for later. With our Ittihad. But talk to me, Al Nassr.
I can talk to you. Listen,
Yeah, mid-table, talk to us,
no, no,
please.
no. It's not how you start
I
a
thought we
season.
should start from
Oh,
the
it's
table before
how
we
you
go up the
finish.
It's how
table.
you finish. All right, okay, we didn't have a great start, okay, but we just won the championships, the Arab Cup championship, so we were kind of like, okay, we'll wait out a bit and then we'll let you lot have your moment because we've already beaten one of these guys who's chatting about Al Hilal being second, but we beat you for the cup, and then
1 second. The people watching this, remember his comments. When it comes to the end of the season, we can
Yeah.
ridicule him then.
Yeah, just
You did.
Remember
But
the name.
I think league form is different from a cup form.
Yeah,
But hey ho,
but
we
then,
continue.
we had we didn't do well in the first 2 games, but then it came to the Champions League playoffs and we're 2-0 down, and then we step up and bring it back to 4-2, and there we go. We've turned our kind of fortunes around, and we've built from there. Won our last game 5-0 with the main man Ronaldo scoring a hat-trick and Sadio Mane scoring 2 goals, and that is a return of investment right there.
Yeah.
The team wants things to turn around, your best 2 players step up and do the deed.
How's Mane doing in terms of integration?
No, I think obviously now he's like, I think obviously it takes a bit of time, and now you see that he's starting to bear the fruits, and it was always going to be questionable how him and Ronaldo are going to link up, and it looks like at least now that it's starting to work. And I think the next game we have is against a pretty unknown team, you would think, but they're not. I think they're called Al Shadab, and with them they finished top 4. I think they finished 4th last season, 2nd the season before, 3rd the season before, or 4th again the season before, and 2nd the season before that. So top 4 in the last 3 seasons. They should be one of the big 4, but obviously Al Ahli, after getting relegated, got some investment, and then he can shake his head all he wants. But he knows.
Listen,
but
look at the table. Look at your players. Arguably, you have the biggest player in the Saudi Pro League.
Yeah,
Sadio Mane arguably could play for a lot of top European clubs. You're sitting pretty 11th. So yeah.
My question is though, I know a goal is a goal, and I know Ronaldo's however old he is. how good was his goals in the hat trick? Was it actually something you look at and be like, damn, he's getting back out there? Is it just tap-ins and like easy goals that he's scoring?
What do you, so
I know a goal's a goal, but I haven't seen the goals. So I'm asking you, how were they? Were they good? Were they worth?
No, like I think the third goal was from a. I'm trying to think of the goals now. You put me on the spot. I know that I think it was one of the. They were goals, bro. I don't know why I'm trying to.
A goal's a goal.
But then
I'm like, why am I trying to?
He's not the only one to score a hat trick. Malcolm scored a hat trick too.
Yeah.
And he had a great game. I think Malcolm's been very good as well. Ruben Neves has been very good for you.
Ruben Neves, honestly, El Ettifaq were undefeated, but the way we dominated that game, it was insane. We barely gave them a sniff. Ruben Neves absolutely dictated that midfield. Malcolm was a constant threat. Mitrovic, every ball in the box, he was getting his head on. It was just,
I think for you guys is a given anyway. If you look at, and I'm going to be unbiased towards this, you guys arguably have the best squad in the Saudi Pro League.
I mean,
for me, there's a big difference between the balance of your squad compared to others. And if you look at the type of players that you have to come in, like Neymar hasn't even played. Yeah. And he's one of those players that I think he can just play with ease. He can play, like you just see him against, even in the French league, he was just walking past people, doing all sorts of rainbow flicks like it was nothing.
That was a complete... I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't take that. That's going to be a weekly episodic sort of feature from Neymar coming in like that, ripping it up. But no.
So all I'm saying is you're expected to win.
Expected, absolutely.
Compared to anyone else.
They're the most successful club in the league. They're always expected to win. I'm not going to shy away from the fact that they should be winning with the signings they've made. Absolutely. In terms of squad balance,
we have a new signing coming as well very soon. I won't say his name right yet, but when he gets there, we'll be competing right at the top of Al Hilal.
Absolutely. That's the thing. You can say in terms of squad balance and anticipation of who should win the league. I think everyone on this, whether it be Al Hilal, Al Nassr, Al Ahli, or Al Ittihad, everyone on this is expected to win. They've all made big signings. You maybe not to the caliber of Ronaldo or Neymar, no, but squad balance wise, I think even yourself, Al Ahli, and I don't think you guys have lost a game either with Al Ahli. It's been the squad balance is actually really good in your side.
Yeah, I think we made smart signings as well. Absolutely. Very smart signings. They're not. I wouldn't say they're compared to the other teams that we've signed the biggest players, but I think we signed good quality players to kind of build a like everyone's on an equal playing field with each other. Like I think Al Nassr, when you look at them, you look at Ronaldo and you kind of put him right up there, and Mane, and then you got everyone else sort of. I guess you could put Laporte there as well, and then it kind of drops down. It's quite top heavy in terms of you got Ronaldo up there, whereas this is just my opinion. And then I look at Al Ahli and I think we're quite on a level playing field with our players.
I don't think I would ever put Saint Maximin along in the same level as Firmino or Mahrez. It's just
I don't know what kind of thing you have in your head, bro. Like you've got about 3 Champions League winners in your team.
Yeah, but you can say Champions League winners. James Milner's a Champions League winner. He's not the best player in the world, is he?
None of these guys are like near retiring age. They're still established footballers who do that in any league in the world, and you're kind of sitting there going, "Oh yeah, they're average players compared to the rest of yours."
No, I'm not saying average. It doesn't mean it's average. It's like when you look at, for example, like Manchester City, their models to buy players sort of on a similar level, so no one feels like they're above everyone else. Do you know what I mean? That was their model, and they sort of broke that. They sort of broke that recently.
I agree with you. When they broke
that recently, and they had to kind of go up to the other level.
Come in, you're going to be on the same level as everyone else. That's what they told him.
No, they broke it when he came in. But that's another discussion to have. But that was their model. They openly came out and said it. Even Pep openly came out and talked about how he wants players to be sort of like on the same level with each other. You can disagree, but it's what he said. I'm not just taking it out of my own mouth.
Of course. It's just Pep is Pep, and I'm not taking that Saint Maximin is on the same level as Firmino and Mahrez. That's just my opinion. Great with the ball.
I'm just saying the disparity between the quality of player is roughly they're quite it's not that far. Whereas I think when I look at Ronaldo, then you see like everyone else. There's a big difference.
This is just your
Saint
excuse when
Maximin
you
was
come fourth
barely
or
making
fifth
the
in the
Newcastle
league.
team again, and Firmino, yeah, he fell off in terms of age, but Mahrez was a constant feature in the City team.
Yeah, Mahrez is arguably our best player, and I can't lie, Firmino has been class.
Yeah,
and Kessié has been
quality
absolute
player.
quality.
Kessié scored like a screamer or something, didn't he, as well?
It wasn't a screamer. It was a tap in. It was literally those three. It was Mahrez crossed it, typical Mahrez on that right side. It was Firmino just nodded it on, and then Kessié just like right at the far post.
How's
Pretty
Firmino
simple,
playing?
to be
Is he
fair.
still playing like in the Liverpool team where he was very much that false nine sort of player, linking everything up?
To be fair, I would say he's more in the box than he used to be.
Yeah.
Like compared to Liverpool. But he's sort of like a playmaker, striker.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, even Kessié is in a very advanced
position.
position as well. To be fair, I'll be honest, even in our last game, we won 1-0. I think Mendy made like one save. He barely did anything. Is another discussion talking about how the other teams with they don't have the investment as these teams have. There, I can't lie, there's a very big quality difference. The way they create chances.
Yeah.
You can argue if they had a better manager, but there's another argument. If they don't have the quality of player, it's easier for your team to just do what they have to do. So you kind of expect your team to win. This is why I'm excited to see Al Ahly play one of your guys' teams, because that's a bigger test. And we've got 3 games under our belt as well, so we've kind of get into a good rhythm. So yeah, it'll be good to see. Hopefully Al Nassr, and we can take them back down to 15th, 16th, where they belong.
Okay.
You would love that. You would love that. I would love that.
I would love that. Weekly episodic on Al Nassr, whereabouts in the middle.
Where are they now? Where are they?
Close our eyes and take a guess where they are on the table.
I think your next big game out against one of our teams is against us. I think we play on like the 21st of September, so we'll see then. At 3 weeks from now, when you're like struggling, and then we come and just Ronaldo, Mane, double hat trick, and then the game's over. We'll see then.
Yeah.
I want you to keep
potentially top of the league, struggling.
Let's do a preview before that, because I feel like this one's gonna be fight between you two. Let's do a little preview before that game.
Keep your spirits.
I'll back my boys. I'll take 2-1.
I mean, we're weeks away. I'm still
taking 2-1.
6-0. He's saying 2-1. That's
6-0. Okay, comments below. How delusional was he? 6-0.
I think you should do it for both. You put so much pressure on us just because we got big players and you speak about balance. But anyhow,
smart signings.
I'm going to move on from this topic, and I'm sure we're going to come back to those comments for sure as weeks progress. But I want to get a quick word in for our Ittihad and what they're doing.
I will start on Al Ittihad, but I want to go back to Al Ahly quickly, because how can somebody tell me that Mahrez and Firmino and Mendy, all these players are just average? These players have won.
No, I think you've taken it away. I never said average. It's about it's like on the same level.
But when you don't come top 5, top 6, yeah, you'd be like, oh, I always said my players are very average, XYZ. I know that's going to come from you as well. You like your excuses.
See, now that's the thing. I didn't say average. I said same level. So you can still have players who are world class all on the same level. They're not average. They're just on the same level. Do you know what I mean? And I was just talking about how they're smart signings in the ways that the positions we fill them correctly, in my opinion. And I feel like they're building a team, hence smart signings. They're building a team.
Gums, but I've got a question to Vishnu though, because I want to hear about. I want to hear from him about how his team is falling apart. So
yeah, and your team's falling apart. Your manager and your your top striker can't get along. But yeah, we can talk about that.
It's interesting you say
smart
that.
signings though, those ones.
Yeah,
great.
That's
what I was talking about. Smart signings.
Now we won 3-0 today, and Benzema started. So even if you say they're falling out, it's not really accurate, because actually it is very accurate, because he only played 42 minutes. He got
I was going to say, I thought he came up before half time.
but the fact that he got started, right, doesn't mean that he's against not playing. Just bench him straight away if he wasn't really happy with him. And if you think he doesn't fit the style fair enough, he's rejected the captaincy. Benzema wanted to be captain, and Nuno said, no, I don't want you to be captain. Then he said, you won't fit my playing style. But if he thinks that so strongly, and if it's not a massive media twist, then why start him in the first place, in my opinion? You know, if you don't think he's going to perform,
this will open a whole can of worms. It's not just, I feel like, okay, if I put my opinion aside and just go with the Saudi Pro League, and you kind of have to, you can't take Benzema out. He's pretty much the face of your team. And the investment that you've put into him, you can't just be like, okay, I'm going to drop him. In my opinion, what I think would happen if he did that is the manager would go, not the player. If I reckon he'll get a talking to before that, it would be like, okay, you can't drop our star player.
Yeah,
I mean, do you agree or disagree? He can't just drop him.
I don't agree with the financial investment bit because he came on a free. Obviously, salaries are quite high, so it's not a big financial commitment making because about every other player is getting the same wages anyway, so it's not anything different. So there's no transfer fee there.
You can argue he's one of the highest earners, and it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the manager will go. I feel like the board of Al Ittihad has more of a say over it than Nuno does. So Nuno will just be told, no, you're keeping him. Get on with it, and he'll have to take it on the chin because I know what the manager wants, but he can't get everything that he needs, right? He won't be able to.
That's what I was trying to say. You can't just drop him
because you're not listening to me and this and that. I reckon they'll both have to play and just kind of knock heads a bit. And as soon as Benzema starts scoring, or if Nuno can adapt to the way Benzema plays, if it's like a lazy style, more like just playing with the ball at the top, I'll run and score. If Nuno can kind of get that team around him as well, it's beneficial both ways for the club and for both of them to get along.
Has Benzema scored a goal yet? I think did he not score today?
No, I don't think he didn't score today. No, he only played 42 minutes.
Has he scored an open play goal? I'm not. I think he just scored a penalty, if I'm correct. I don't think he's actually scored an open play goal, if I'm correct.
No, he hasn't. But we have won 4 out of 4, so it's not like the team's collapsing without him or with him.
Yeah.
He's still playmaking, still doing his stuff. He even tracks back a bit in some of the games as well. So it's nothing. He's not performing.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting the wins, but I feel like the more that storyline continues, the more that's gonna be an interference in your play.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're forgetting that we have a prolific signing coming in about a week's time. So to support my best friend Benzema up front, we're gonna have a really good player to come get those goals. It's scored 30 goals last season.
Allegedly.
But before you move on, I've just taken a look at Benzema's stats for the season, and he's played 4 games, 1 goal and 2 assists. So as Nuno, it's kind of hard to argue that it's not working when that's the kind of return your striker is giving you. And if you only I feel like when you say, it's Nuno's gonna, you kind of have to look at it from, okay, if he doesn't suit your style of football, just look at his statistics: 4 games, 1 goal, 2 assists. That's a good return. No.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I see the game's becoming too much stat based. It's becoming too much stat based.
But when you're a manager, okay, it's good that your striker's scoring goals or he's giving you that, but at the same time, you see it time and time again. You want them to fit your style.
Exactly.
Like Ibrahimovic, Barcelona, he didn't fit Pep style. You got rid of him.
Yeah.
You have to fit the manager's style. It depends how the manager is. Maybe Nuno is like that. I don't know him personally.
Vishnu, then here's a question. This player, presumably Mo Salah, if he comes, and if Juventus lets him go, and if Liverpool let him go 1 week with the transfer season to close, right? Is he a player for Nuno Espírito Santo? Is he a player that's going to fit into his playing style?
Firstly, just you leaked Salah's name, not me. So,
who's the player?
I think he'll fit. I think Salah, he goes anywhere. He's 31 years old, right? He can go anywhere and pretty much slot in because he's got the pace. He can beat players quite easily, and he's got amazing shooting capability, right? So a lot of clubs he will go to in any of the teams in the Saudi league, I reckon he will slip in quite easily. Obviously, some of your clubs will be a bit of competition, but
not my club. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We haven't got that competition.
We got Morris.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
So
he'll probably take. I mean,
I reckon he'll perform.
might take Salah.
Give better quality pieces to
Stop it.
Benzema. There's so much more he can do for the club.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know the whole Salah thing. I'm not sure. There's so many things there that it's so difficult to bypass. Even if you chuck a ridiculous amount of money at it, if you're Liverpool, you look at that and you're losing your best player, and you're like, what can I do with this? Who am I gonna replace him with?
Thing
At the same time, though,
happened this year. The only way it happens is if Liverpool can get some, and this is like me just talking like with I know there's no rumors, but in my opinion, the only way it would happen is if Liverpool got someone like PSG to say, okay, and Mbappe to say, okay, I will come over. This is a price tag, and then you more or less say, this is how much you want for Salah. You sell Salah, and immediately Mbappe comes in. Otherwise, you take Salah out of that team, and with the struggles they have already, I mean, I know they won and all of that, and they're a man down or whatever, but I don't think it happens. I don't think it happens now. Maybe next year, maybe January, or maybe next year.
I think it'll be a topic of discussion for next year for sure. But if it does happen, hypothetically speaking, if it does happen, and Benzema then leaves our Ittihad because of disagreements, and Nuno is that adamant he wants Salah, Salah has to fit in. Nuno has no choice; he has to fit in.
But
Let a player that
you're just assuming the manager's bigger than the players at this point.
No, but of course. But if they've had a disagreement based on playing style, and now they've come to the point where Benzema can't no longer function with the team, so he's been effectively let go because of the take of the manager's steer. You'd think the manager has a name in his mind that he prefer. If it is Salah, again allegedly, if he does come, and that is the name, then he has to. And Salah's a big personality too.
But take everything out of it. Do you not think Salah will be like the biggest signing for the Saudi Pro League at this moment?
Oh, absolutely. But from
like,
cultural
after what
perspective,
Ronaldo's done, I would say, because Ronaldo came in and obviously the impact he's had is, it's the biggest thing that's happened. After that, you'd say Salah will be next, like bigger than Neymar,
I would agree, and I might argue it might be bigger only because of the Arab connection.
But if you look at
I'd argue from age perspective as well. Salah's not at a point where he's coming to a retirement. He's still got a fair few years in him. So to get him,
31 is not. But my argument for that is if it was the other way around, if Salah came in first and then Ronaldo, you'd still say Ronaldo is a bigger one, just because of who Ronaldo is and the name.
What Ronaldo represents, I think him and Messi are in the league of their own. I think you can't argue that. But below that, you could say Salah,
But I'd say, but the actual impact it would have, not just in Saudi, but just the ripple effect across the whole kind of area and region would be
astronomical.
I think Salah already has an impact there anyway. Like ridiculously, his sort of profile of player there is massive, especially in obviously Egypt. He's pretty much the king of Egypt. Hopefully the king is not watching this, the real king. But I don't think that will happen. So I think even in the next episode when we discuss this, I don't think it will happen.
Henderson and Fabinho, right?
Different players,
but they've already come across. There's a lot of like inspiration to go to. If he needs some advice, he can just ask them about it.
It's not about advice. I think it's about, will Liverpool let him go? And I think the answer is no. It comes down to them.
If the price tag comes in, you tell me their owners won't sell. And I guess the only complication is that the transfer window for the Premier League ends this Friday, and Saudi League is the 2nd or the 20th of September, right? So even if the Premier League deadline finishes this week, Saudi can still bid for Salah, and this is going to be an ongoing saga for another 2 weeks.
I can't imagine Liverpool letting go though.
They won't do that.
I've got a question. If you're Liverpool, right, what's your number?
I don't put a number on it.
I saw an alleged rumored 85 million for him, but he only has there was two, 124 million and 85 million. But the 85 million made more sense because he only has a contract until end of the age of 32. So that's like a year and a bit longer for his contract. So 85 million to pay up a 1-year contract is not. You can't say the low ball in the price.
I don't think it's about the contract. I think they're happy to let it run down because
Yeah.
the player that you're losing is an established Premier League player who scores 20 goals easy a season, guaranteed. You look at Harry Kane, guaranteed goals. You can't buy that nowadays, just because if they do go buy a player for £100 million, who are they really going to get? £100 million players nowadays are not. The market's just is just so inflated that I don't think they're going to get what the equivalent of Salah at the same time.
I guess a good question for you. Go on.
No, I was going to say, think about the impact as well of what Salah moving would do for the Saudi Pro League, right?
Yeah.
Liverpool has to consider everything. It's not just about how much money they get. It's about how much money or what it means for Saudi to get a player like Salah. I would say it has to be what they were willing to pay for Mbappe or something like that. It has to be at least like 200 million. 85 is like, for me, it's not even, you wouldn't even consider it.
It has to be an amount that Liverpool cannot refuse.
Yeah,
They
it has
just
to be.
cannot refuse.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
it has to be more than 120. It has to be something ridiculous.
Yeah,
that you look at it and just say, you know what? Yes. But that number, I can't tell you. And I think it's going to have to be something that is kind of comes off the cuff when they see it.
Do you know why I disagree with that number? Because if I was, I'm not Liverpool, but if I was Liverpool, and if somebody offered me 100 million for Salah, and I know their deadline extends another 2 weeks than my deadline for my transfers, if they said to me 100 million, you can very likely go out in the next 3-4 days and sign yourself a player, not to replace, but to do even about 70% of what Salah does.
Yeah, but
opposed to
waiting
until the deadline finishes and then receive a number that you can't refuse. Let's say they said 140 million, for example. Then you're 140 million up, but if you took the 80 million, 90 million before, you at least had some time to bring in a player that would kind of replace him. So
let me go.
Sure.
With that comment of yours, let's say you've sold Salah, right? Now the whole world knows you've sold Salah, right? Let's say, I don't know, I'm gonna pick a. Let's say they're not gonna do this, but like just to kind of say a top player in the Premier League, someone like Saka. Like let's say they go to Arsenal and say we'll sign Saka. Saka's not gonna go for 100 million, right? But let's say they go to, even if Saka was worth 100 million, he's probably worth more. But let's say he was worth 100 million. Arsenal are going to ask for they were like, oh, what you really need him, and you need him in the next 3 days. We want 200 million. It doesn't matter what player they go for. Everyone in the world knows that they need a player of that caliber now to come and sort them out.
And
so it's going to be like a 70%. They're going to have to do like 4 players or do something like that where they just hope that one of them works.
Even with that, I don't think Salah's the face of Liverpool at the moment. If they were to sell him, the fans will be absolutely irate. And if they were to bring, in your opinion, and stopgap, just a player just to fill that position,
it would have to be, yeah.
Yeah, but even so, I don't think the fans would ever accept it. It would cause them so many problems from a fan perspective that they'll lose. The ball will lose. I mean, they're on thin ice with the fans in itself with their transfer. I don't think they could afford to go to sell Salah and then to bring in a stopgap. But
I think about the squad, the impact on the rest of their players, and all of that, the impact on Jurgen Klopp. It's just no.
I think the opportunity cost is way too high to lose him.
Absolutely, and let's just wrap that up. I mean, in terms of Salah, I guess if we all were to say, is he staying or is he coming to Al Ittihad? What do you guys think? So if I start with Anthony,
I'd say definitely not. Not now, but maybe next year.
Vish?
I would say yes, based on the rumours that he had his medical due today. So if that medical went ahead, then it's very likely that signing is going to happen. Why do a medical if it's just all false rumours, right? So that's my opinion.
It's just
I mean, leave it to his opinion. I mean, there's an opinion to come back to for the weeks ahead, I'm sure. And Gums?
I'm gonna say straight up no. He's not going. Straight up no.
I echo the same. I think next season maybe. I think there's a very good reason for next season, but this season I think is a bit too short to get him in.
Just before you move on, I have a yes or no question for you lot as well. If Salah was to go, I know you guys had your opinion, but if he was to go, do you think Alisson will follow through with the rumours that we've heard recently as well?
No.
Again,
Liverpool, you're just losing. You're basically selling your club, and you just lose too much in so many areas. I don't know where to start with that one.
Do you know what the difference is, Vishnu? Right? If you look at all the other players, that have gone there, at least from the Premier League, they're players who are surplus to squad, except Ruben Neves, right? I know Ruben Neves, okay. If you look at Mark,
Mitrovic.
look at Laporte, okay, Mitrovic. But the majority of players, let's go majority of players who are going there, are, at the moment at least, are players who are very top quality, but are not maybe getting into the... Laporte is a great example. He's like 6th choice centre-back or something. Okay, you can't make the same argument for people like Benzema, Ronaldo and stuff, but at least like the other players. If you're looking at like Alisson, Salah, you are taking 2 players who, if they were fit enough, would start every single game for Liverpool. Without even, they'll be the first 2-3
They
names.
let their captain go. Henderson was a captain for a few seasons.
Yeah.
They let him go.
You
Fabinho's
can
solid.
argue that's a whole different kettle of fish with Henderson.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Henderson's on the level in terms of importance to Liverpool that Salah and Alisson are.
And a goalkeeping position is a totally different one. They've already revamped their midfield. Goalkeeper, the position of a goalkeeper, there's only one. They don't have a replacement. You sell Alisson, who are you going to get?
I heard the gay is free on the market now, joking.
I mean,
I think we should leave that one to the comments to see what they think on that topic for sure. But yeah, we'll I'm sure we'll revisit those comments, those opinions for sure. And I guess just to also wrap up on that discussion with the whole Nuno versus Benzema debate. Where do you guys actually, just as a quick and one-worded, who do you think is going to win that battle, Nuno or Benzema? So if I start with Anthony again.
Win, I don't know who's going to win the battle.
Let's just say for the sake of there is going to be one winner. There could be that they resolve the issue and everything goes swimmingly fine.
Like right now, from where I'm sitting right now, Nuno, I'd say it's that like
it's more than one word, Anthony. That's more than one word.
Sorry, I'll just do a little. They're in a similar situation to where, if I was to do a comparison, what Ten Hag was with Ronaldo, right? Not very like similar, but at least it could be heading towards that, where it's just a complete breakdown, right? And they're in a situation where Benzema is statistically, it might be from one game and not in the other games and this, that, and the other, but at least he is 4 games, 2 assists, 1 goal. That's a great return, like in my opinion. And if he carries on that kind of form for the rest of the season, our Ittihad do very well. Would do very well. Right. And then I think if you have a player of that caliber, I sometimes think it's down to the manager to go, okay, how can I adjust to then fit that player in? Because there's only that one kind of Benzema. You're not going to get another Benzema to come in and do what he does. And he is one of the most proven strikers in the world. And his accolades speak for themselves. So you can't argue with that. And therefore, in my opinion, Nuno should kind of say, okay, yeah, he doesn't suit my kind of playing at the moment, but how can I maybe adjust to make sure that, my biggest signing, my best player by far in my team can work with my way of playing.
Fair enough. Ambition. What about you? Do you think Nuno should it should be Nuno that adjusts or Benzema?
Really and truly both, to be successful, both, because they're gonna just keep clashing heads anyway. But I agree with what Anthony said. It's literally they're not sacrificing a lot for Benzema to play a different playing style. It's not a lot to sacrifice. It's literally the manager says, I want you to do this here instead of you going, because they're going left, go right, basically. It's really not hard for a footballer to adjust. He might be used to it a lot, but he can train, he can practice. It might take another month or 2, but as long as he's performing and still putting in a few results here and there and like improving his stats, I don't see why they can't work together down the line.
Okay. And what about you, Gums?
I'm not going to sit on the fence. I want to say Benzema. And I think the allure of the Saudi Pro League is just started. I think the players are the face of it, not the managers. And you kind of have to look at it from the perspective of where they're going with this. You choose the manager over the player, I think you're losing a big star of the league. And I think a lot of people are attracted to the players in the league first. And then once the league grows, you can kind of get into the like the regulatories of normal football, as in you build up your good managers, good players, etc. But right now, I think the balance should be heavily weighted towards the players. I don't agree with that, but I think that's what's best for the league, in my opinion.
Fair enough. I'm probably going to sit on the other side of that fence. I'm going to be more so. It's although Benzema attracts a lot of players, I think it's more so about success at the same time too. If there's nothing leading to success, Nuno doesn't want to be there just for the sake of filling in a manager role. He needs to get wins under his table. So as much as Benzema is a quality player, and don't get me wrong, he's one of the best strikers of all time. But if Nuno doesn't see it fitting, and it doesn't lead to success, I think Nuno should be the one that they prioritize, in my personal opinion. But we will see how that comes in. I just I don't want to keep this too long. Just a quick last minute from me. I hope the Nuno Benzema storyline continues, because we've got Ittihad next, and I really hope that absolutely puts you aside. But we are really short on time, so we will carry on the discussion. I'm going to do a quick score prediction between all of us. Anthony, what do you think that our Ittihad Al Hilal? Who do you think will win? Good score.
Right now, the situation, I'm going to say about 3-1 Al Hilal.
What? Nobody said Ittihad.
What do you think? I like to hear it.
Listening to the situation.
Fish, what do you think?
I'm going to make an outrageous comment here, right? And I'm going to say, being optimistic, Salah passes medical today. Liverpool agree a fee tomorrow. Sure. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Wednesday comes, he joins the club for training. Thursday's his day off. Friday he comes in, gets a debut goal, and Al Ittihad win 2-0.
Thank you, Ty. Thank you.
There's other ties available, but guys, what do you think?
I would say 3-2 Al Hilal. I think they're just too good. They're just too good. Al Ittihad, you played 4 games. You can judge it on 4 games. Mm-hmm. They've conceded none. Fair play. But I think it's just a different kettle of fish when you play. Arguably, this is the toughest test you're going to face in the league. So,
Dinesh, just before you do yours, I just want to ask Germs, are you sure you support Al Ali? Because I have serious doubts.
No, but you have to be at a certain point. You have to be unbiased, because you can always say my team's going to win, my team's going to win, my team's going to win.
I don't think they're the best team.
We'll keep that for next week. But my quick score prediction will be I think we're going to absolutely do our Ittihad at 3-1, and I think Neymar is going to definitely make an impact with a controversial as it might be. Mitrovic might also cause a bit more damage, I hope. But we shall see. Anyways, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure recording this podcast, and I hope you guys at home have enjoyed it. Do let us know in the comments on those topics. I think it's been great topics in terms of Salah coming into this Saudi Pro League, and the Nuno Benzema conversation. Do let us know, and we'll be sure to discuss it, or discuss the result for our Ittihad and Al Hilal next week. Peace, guys. It's been a pleasure.